Hello, my name is Peter Bricks. I'm a debtor bankruptcy attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to talk and your credit scores. But first, before we do that, let's read this quick disclaimer. We are a debt relief agency proudly assisting consumers in filing bankruptcy. However, there is no attorney-client relationship with the viewer of this message unless there is a fee agreement. Your situation is unique to you, and we would need to consult with you individually before we could offer applicable and accurate legal advice. This information should only be used for educational purposes. Okay, we're talking about credit scores in bankruptcy. This is a big issue. A lot of clients will come how their credit's going to be impacted by bankruptcy. Obviously, it's not good for your credit. All right, Chapter 7 is going to stay on your credit for 10 years, at Chapter 13 for 7 years. But that's kind of not really the point. What the point is how is bankruptcy going to, I mean, if you're just looking at it from the credit perspective, how is bankruptcy going to affect your credit compared to your credit now? Okay, so I will rarely, but I will occasionally have someone come in who actually has pretty good credit. They're just in a sea of debt, but they've managed to make all their minimum payments. They're not in default on anything. Okay, so that party is an abnormal person, and they're looking at a major hit to their credit. But the typical debtor, you have to consider is probably in default on a lot of things. They have really poor credit already, so bankruptcy makes them a much better credit risk. And why is that? Well, the bankruptcy eliminates typically a lot of unsecured debt. I'm sorry, all their unsecured debt in a typical scenario. So let's take the person who didn't file bankruptcy, but doesn't file bankruptcy, but has a 540 credit score, and they have 30,000 in unsecured debt, and they is that who is going to qualify for a car loan, a home loan? Home loan probably not. Car loan maybe at a pretty rate. Whereas the debtor who files bankruptcy can go to the lender and say, hey, look, I've gotten rid of a lot of my debt. I don't have a lot of debt. I'm ineligible to file Chapter 7 again for 8 years, so I'm not going to do that to you. I won't file Chapter 7 on this car note I've got. And that party is actually a better credit risk. And this isn't encouraging you to file, to not file. This, you clearly have to weigh a lot of factors in mind. And personally, I think the credit, people who talk about their credit scores overvalue that importance, because the good credit, the whole point of good credit is that it gets you certain things, like a lower interest rate and things. But the point is, if you don't even have the kind of credit that's going to get you that anyway, why are you, necessarily worried about how bankruptcy is going to hurt your credit when your credit's not getting you anything anyway? So, and credit gets you, a 7% interest rate instead of a 12% interest rate. So you can put a monetary amount on that credit, and you can also put a monetary amount on the amount of debt you discharge.